Hey guys, Sixth here, bringing you part 6 of my tutorial series. So last time we set up some waypoints and we set up Platinum Patrol for our random spawns and went into detail about that. Now what we're going to do is set up our Description.ext, which is pretty important. Actually, it's very important. So what we're going to do is we're going to start anew and save it as description.ext in the root, and we'll go ahead and select our language as SQF. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is disable, we'll leave this in case we want to add it later, but we'll create some comments for what we're going to be doing. Disables the AI at 1. 0 allows the AI to stay. Disable AI equals 0. So if we change that to 1, then the AI would be disabled when you start it up. Just make sure. Disabled AI, that's what it should be. Alright, next we're going to talk about respawn, and I created a custom key here. So if we leave a respawn at 0, it'll be no respawn. 1 will be you'll respawn as a seagull, which is spectator. 2, you'll respawn where you died. 3, you'll respawn in the base. 4, you'll respawn in your group. And 5, you'll respawn as an AI on your team. So we're going to do respawn equals 4 for you'll respawn in your group. Then we'll add respawn delay equals 0. We don't want any respawn delay. Respawn dialog equals 0. Since there's not going to be a delay, we don't need to show a scoreboard, but we'll talk about what these mean. So respawn 4 enables JIP, which is join in progress. Respawn delay is the delayed amount of time before respawn in seconds. And then respawn dialog is 0 disables and 1 shows the scoreboard and respawn countdown timer. So we have it set to 0, so we're going to disable it. Alright, next we will set up our mission loading menu. First would be the author. So author equals, and you would put your name. So in this case, my name's Sixth. Next will be the mission name. So on load name equals, our mission name is we'll just put Operation Test. Next would be the mission description, which is on load mission equals, and then we would put our description. A series, we'll just put our description will be find and eliminate the targets. Next would be the mission picture, which we don't have yet, but we will talk about shortly. And that's load screen equals, and then we would put the location right there. But again, we don't have a picture yet. Next, we're going to create a class header with an open curly bracket. Game type equals coop. So the class header will appear directly above the mission stats, and this will only be when you're loading in. And if you wanted a different displays the game type, and then if you wanted like a different thing besides coop equals cooperative, and TDM, for example, would equal team deathmatch. Okay. Next would be the minimum players limit. So min players equals, and that's just again would be just, it would just display some information. So say we only have you know, if this is a single player, then the minimum amount of players would be 1. And then max players limit and max players equals, and I think so far we only have 3, so we'll just leave it at 3. We'll close off our curly bracket, and that will end our mission loading menu. Okay, we'll save this. So we're about halfway through here, so let's just go over everything one more time. So this will disable the AI, so that way we have no we will have like no, you know, if we're playing a strictly multiplayer mission, we don't want any AI on our team. We leave it at 1, but we'll change it to 0 for now. Then we have our key, which explains what all of these respawn values mean. 4 would allow JIP, which you can respawn in your group. The delayed amount of time to respawn, which we have set at 0 in seconds, so instantly. The dialogue shown, which would be the scoreboard and countdown timer. Since we don't have a countdown timer, we have it set to 0. Then we start talking about when you're loading in, it'll display who the mission was created by, the name of the mission, the description of the mission, a picture once we get one, what game mode, and the minimum and maximum players. So moving right along, we are going to keep adding a few things here. Say we want some music in our mission. Well, we're going to have to create a class for that. So let's make a music class, and that would be class CFG music with an open curly bracket, tracks, closed brackets, equals closed curly brackets, and that's if we have multiple tracks, but we don't even have any yet. And we'll say our first music selection, and we'll say class, and we'll name it music1. Name equals, once we figure out the name of our first music, we'll put it there. Sound, closed brackets, equals, open curly bracket, and then again the name of our music, comma, dB plus 0, which is increasing the sound if we wanted to, and then 1.0, which I think has something to do with tones, or I'm not quite sure what this is for. That one might be volume also. Again, I can't tell for certain. Then we'll close off these curly brackets here, since that'll be our music. And then we'll do something similar for sound effects. If we wanted to put, say, voice acting in our mission, this is mandatory. So we're going to create class CFG sounds, open curly bracket, and then list of sounds, which will say sounds, close brackets, equals, into the open brackets, which we don't have any sounds yet, sound number 1, which will be class, and we'll call it odd1. Again, open curly bracket. Name, very similar to music here, equals, we don't have a name yet. And sound, of course, close brackets, equals, and into some open curly brackets. And inside we'll have the path, which we don't have yet, so we'll just say /fx/ comma 1 tone 1.0. Okay. And then this appears as subtitles. Titles, close brackets, equals. We'll say 0 and then some quotations. Close that off. Close off our curly bracket here. And then say we're going to want another one in the future. We're just going to do one more. So class, we'll call this one odd2. Name equals, just like before, sound fx 1.0. Titles equal 0, comma, quotes. Okay, close off this curly bracket. Close off the original curly bracket since we're done with the sounds. Actually, we'll don't need that there. Yeah, we do. Okay. Next, we are going to do actually, I think we don't need this. Just okay, save that. Next, we'll set up our briefing for end game scenarios. So type end game class CFG Debriefing. Open curly bracket. So it'll be the blue 4 ending. Class, and we'll call it end1. Open curly bracket. Title equals, we'll leave that blank for now. Subtitle equals, also blank for now. Forget about our semicolons. And then description equals, quotes. Close that off. Then we'll do one more for up4 ending. Class end2 is what we'll call it. Title equals, subtitle equals, description equals, close off these, and we'll close off that class as well. We'll save this. Alright, so let's go over what exactly we just did. So we created a music class, so this way we can put custom music in. We haven't set up the files yet, because we don't have any files yet, but if we did, we would put the names right here, and I'll show you guys how to do that in a little bit. Same exact thing for sounds. And then we set up a debriefing, which shows at the end of the mission. We set up an end 1 and an end 2. Let's go ahead and create our titles for now. We'll say, what do I have selected here? That's interesting. Okay. So we'll say Blue 4 has won. Okay. And then here we'll say, actually we'll just say Blue 4 victory. And then here we'll say Blue 4 has won the mission. Okay. And then down here we will say Op 4 victory. Op 4 has won the mission. So now when we set it up, so via like a trigger, if we say end 1, then it will say this, which is Blue 4's victory. And if we do end 2, it'll say Op 4's victory. So we can set that up right now. But first, let's go ahead and test our description. So we'll save this in the editor, click preview, and as you can see it says Operation Test by 6th, find and eliminate the targets. And we don't have a picture, so it just selected a default one. This is wherever we were. But the description's working. So this is good for multiple things. Now we can set up sound effects, we can set up music, and we can set up the end game scenarios. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll set up a trigger for end game. So we'll put down a trigger right here. We'll call it end 1. Set the axes of A and B to 0. The activation on Blue 4 present. On the activation, we will type bracket end 1, because that's what we called it, true, comma true. Close that off. Call biz underscore function underscore end mission. So what this will do is once the conditions of this trigger is met, the activation will be this end 1 right here, Blue 4 victory. So what do we want to have happen when Blue 4 wins? Well, we already have our 2 triggers set up, so we'll say copy over a live target 1, and then we'll put and. First we need to get what the other trigger is, which is all the way over here. I'm just going to move this down here so we have all of our triggers in the same area. Copy that. Now we can say and. Okay. This was our second task. We forgot to put a name for that. Except that should be right here. First task and our second task. So what the condition is saying, if target 1 is dead and enemy 1 is dead, then we'll call the end mission function. Alright, so let's go ahead and test it to make sure that it works. Remember, we won't have any tasks because we're on Op 4. But let's click the central charge here. So as long as this guy right here is dead and the metal shed is dead, we should have our end game pop up saying Blue 4 is won. So So, there it says blue for victory. Blue for team has won. Of course, my guys are going to shoot at me now because I killed a bunch of people. But that worked. Okay, great. So, we can delete that. We'll move this guy back over here. Nah, you can stay there, that's fine. Click save. And that'll do it for this video, guys. So, next time, what we're going to do is implement our very own custom music and sound effects.